What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Aaron Nix, and I am back to discuss Impact Wrestling on the YouTube channel. This week's Impact was very, very shaky. Normally, I'm a big fan of this show, and I can tell you one of the big reasons why this show wasn't nearly as good as I was hoping it was going to be, and we'll get to that in a moment. Now, the show opened with Jazz versus Deonna Purrazzo. I want to be nice because these two women are magical. Jazz is a certifiable Hall of Famer. Deonna Purrazzo is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now, but this was pretty fucking boring, if I'm being honest. It's nothing against these two women. Styles clash, and also, I think it's fair to say that Jazz is definitely at the back end of her career. You know, she was due to retire, or so we're led to believe, until the pandemic hit, and she's kind of put that on hold, and, you know, I understand that, and, you know, she's still got great value, but her matches are very sluggish, they're very slow, they're mostly punch and kick. And of course, it's not helped by the fact that Karen on the outside hits her with a shoe. And of course, that leads to Deonna Purrazzo getting the win. Yeah. I feel like their knockouts division is on very shaky ground right now. And that's not because it doesn't have a great amount of talent, because it does. It just feels like the booking and the direction seems to not really be going anywhere. And a lot of it has to do with silly little rivalries that are, you know, backstage, or kind of deflecting away from the legitimacy of the spirit that is the competition of the Knockouts division. Case in point, Caleb with a K and Tenille Dashwood just kind of mucking around, trying to get ahead of Jessica Havoc and Nevaeh. Doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, and just a bit boring, to be honest, and nonsensical. But the one thing I can rely on with Impact is the X Division. Shock horror, the X Division steals the show every single time. Utterly fantastic. Ace Austin versus TJP was class. Absolute class personified. I didn't think Ace Austin was going to lose the title, but I was very surprised at how he retained, actually, because after an incredible match, great technicalities. By the way, TJP, one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world for my money. Both of these guys are so fluid, and the X Division is so good. This was easily the highlight of the show for me. At the end of the match, Madman Fulton, the big sweaty mammoth that he is, gets in and costs TJP the win after he's hit a beautiful, I mean beautiful, Mamba Splash. And of course, that leads to, you know, a retain via disqualification. Luckily, I didn't have too long to be upset, because here comes Man Crush, Josh Alexander, to clean house with a chair and save TJP from the ensuing nonsense of Madman Fulton and Ace Austin. This X Division Championship and this X Division overall is heating up very nicely and feels like one of the most competitive and most skill-laden divisions in all of wrestling right now. It really does. I am struggling to think of a title that has a more stacked division of contenders right now. When you consider that Ace Austin is currently at the top of that pile, you've got TJP, you've got Josh Alexander, and there's a plethora of other guys who could step in at a moment's notice and have world-class credible matches. You've got Rohit Raju floating around there as well, who knocked off Falabar in a reasonably okay match. It was nice to see Falabar getting some use. Can do without the, oh, I'm homeless stuff. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy already enough. He just looks like the kind of person you want to give a big old hug to, doesn't he? He's just such a sweetheart. But, you know, the homeless thing is a bit too hokey for me, a bit too carnival. But at least they're not trying to pretend that it's not. You know, it's something that Falabar has been doing, and doing well. Actually, Falabar is really good at humour in wrestling, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, overall, you know, that's all very well and good, but let's be honest, you want me to talk about one thing and one thing only, and it's Kenny Omega's promo. Kenny Omega finally available in the Impact Zone, at least, which I have to give him credit for, because I was very vocal last week about, oh, fuck's sake, you know, he can't even be bothered to turn up, and here he is. Nice. Okay, so that's a pro, that's a plus, that's a positive. Kenny Omega was actually in the Impact Zone. That's unfortunately where the positives end, and I am astounded that people think this guy is good at talking. He is awful. He is actually an awful promo. And you know what? I've tried to be nice about this. It bores me. I get why people like Kenny Omega, because he's hysterically metrosexual. And he's so sensitive, and he's so millennial, and he's so modern. And he plays video games like we do. Fucking, I don't care about that. Even if you're a heel, even if I hate your guts, I still want you to look like a credible world champion. I maintain that he is by far and away the weakest world champion right now. I'm probably the only person who has the guts to say that, because everybody else is just buried inside Kenny Omega's ass. It's actually kind of embarrassing that anyone thinks that this, of all promos, was a great promo. Don Callis is okay, but you know, he does his job well. The idea is that he's kind of like a sycophant, and you think, okay, that's fairly cool, whatever. But it just went on forever and ever. Seriously, I'm pretty sure this segment went 10 to 15 minutes. It was so tedious. And it's not like anyone came down and caused a kerfuffle or anything. Frankly, it's making Impact Wrestling look really shit. And it's making me think, can I be bothered to watch this? And after a while, I thought, okay, fair enough. I just got up and went to the kitchen, made a coffee. I thought, I'm bored now. I haven't got time for this nonsense. It just left me feeling very flat. It just went on and on and on. And by the way, I've come to this incredible epiphany. So during the promo, Don Callis starts screaming about sucking the life out of other vessels. And then all of a sudden, Kenny's like, suck it, Don, suck it. I get it. I absolutely get it now. This is a sugar daddy gay couple scenario, which, hey, I'm all for. I don't kink shame. I certainly have some kinks of my own, and I am absolutely all aboard the gender equality bandwagon and sexual equality. That's why I continuously give my money to Refuse to Conform clothing. And by the way, if you use the Aaron Nix code, you can get 10% off. The description, of course, to those codes is available down below. Which is appropriate, really, because that was pretty much the insinuation in this promo. Now, I genuinely believe that their gimmick is that they're a gay couple. Now, if that's the case, great stuff, lads. I kind of feel like they might be burying the lead, amongst other things. Just embarrassing, actually. Just go away for me. After a while, I started tuning out. I was more interested in what Jessica Havoc had to say because I was watching her stream on Twitch, if I'm being honest. I was like, this is pretty boring. What's Jessica Havoc doing in the corner? Is she going to play around with her cat some more? Speaks volumes about it. By the way, why is he dressed like an interior designer? No idea. No idea. Yeah, show felt quite flat, to be honest. We had Trey Miguel versus AC Romero of Triple XL. That was quite good. Do you know what? I'm always amazed at how good AC Romero is, you know, for his size. And I know he's lost a lot of weight, but he's still a big unit, and I'm sure he would absolutely agree with that. He's still a whopping great tank hoss of a man. But he can really move for a guy his size. He really can. He could always move anyway, but he is really exceptional. He takes great bumps, and as a bigger guy who trains and really struggles with some of the fundamentals, to see a guy like him bump like that makes me feel, right, you haven't got a fucking excuse. Get your fat ass in there and do your thing, because this guy can do it, and he can do it fucking well. Phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. Obviously, Trey Miguel, this was leading to his rivalry with Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan turns up, not really feeling the whole teleport gimmick with the phone. There's too many people teleporting in wrestling. Can we stop that, please? Too many. Just leave it to the genuine big units. You know, I don't mind the odd person doing it, but I swear to God, every show's got a teleporter now. He comes out and he kind of defends Trey Miguel and fends off Triple XL for them, and then before Trey Miguel can get his hands on him, he disappears again. By the way, in the build-up to this match, Tommy Dreamer made a fantastic little cheap shot at AEW's expense, talking about how everybody loves sparklers. I love that. I absolutely love that. Nice little nod. It's funny, isn't it? When AEW wrestlers and AEW's, you know, upper management, so to speak, make little cheeky references like, oh, Forbidden Door and oh, Kota Ibushi. Everyone's like, oh my God, he said that. But as soon as Tommy Dreamer says it, it was like, how dare you? You're not part of AEW, you're scum. I'm so butthurt. Oh well, is what it is. Main event, Eddie Edwards versus Carl Anderson. Boring. Thought it was very boring. I don't get this insistence that Eddie Edwards needs to be in the main event all the time and needs to be pushed as this big star, and I find his wrestling style to be a bit boring, to be honest. He's kind of, you know, he either has amazing matches or he just has dull matches, and Carl Anderson's okay, but, you know, without the tag titles, they feel a bit flat. I'm a little bit surprised, actually, I didn't close the show with Kenny Omega's promo, because even though it was fucking boring, this felt just as flat. And of course, the show goes off the air with Finjuice, you know, pretty much goading the former tag team champions by showing off the fact that they're in Japan currently with the Impact tag team titles. And you think, okay, that's cool-ish. By the way, Rich Swann cut a promo. He had about 5% of the time of Kenny Omega, and in that 5% of the time, he cut a promo that was tenfold more interesting and tenfold more to the point. Quality over quantity. Someone should point that out to Kenny Omega, obviously, because, you know, you don't have to have a 65-minute match to get over, buddy. Sorry, mate. Quite a boring episode of Impact, actually. Pretty lackluster. Minus the X Division, who are all fucking incredible. And it sucks to say that, but I honestly feel like this AEW crossover so far has been utterly boring and bland. I saw somebody tweet out the other day that, oh, this is the invasion angle done properly. Is it? Like, at least the invasion angle had some good moments and had some stars in it, albeit not nearly as many as we wanted. But I actually think that people's hyperbole when it comes to the invasion angle is way overdone. For me, this has been fucking boring so far. Please just get it over and done with, and please, for the love of God, do not give Kenny Omega the Impact Championship unless you're going to do something genuinely interesting with this. Because the more titles he has, the more he's set up to fail, actually, long term. So I'm praying that someone like Moose is going to interfere and deck the shit out of him, but chances are he's probably going to deck Rich Swann at Rebellion, and of course, Kenny Omega is going to be Impact Champion, because there is no way Kenny Omega is going to drop to Rich Swann. You know, as amazing as that would be. So yeah, very lackluster, to be honest. I've been Aaron X. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Club.